Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a little Dynamite review. Now, some people think I'm closing my account or whatever because I haven't done as much recently there. I've been distracted by real life events, folks. Haven't really paid attention to much wrestling news and stuff like this because I've been looking at the real news and hiding in the bunker or whatever. Political events, folks, has grabbed my attention away from wrestling. But now I'm getting bored with that stuff there, so it's time to come back to talking about what matters in life. Pro wrestling. Um, so basically, folks, it was a mundane episode there. You would think it would feel bigger, for a world title match, but it don't. Feels cheap, folks. So it started off with MJF doing a celebration with his friends Wardlow, Sean Spears, a celebration about beating Punk last week or whatever. And like I was expecting this thing to be a bit funny, but it wasn't kind of deal. Like um, Punk comes out, he says he wants a rematch, and then he brings out some friends. It's Darby Allin and Sting. MJF says, that Punk can get his rematch if he beats FTR in the tag match. You can't partner up with Sting or Darby Allin for whatever reason. You gotta find a different partner for whatever reason. And if you can beat FTR in a big tag team match, then you get a match with MJF. Like, to me, this sucks. You know what I mean? How about Punk just beats up MJF or something and then there's a rematch? Why all this bad storytelling? Some random tag match against FTR to get your hands on MJF? Why do wrestlers have to go through so much to fight MJF like if he's the champ or something? Like, and it's so much fucking shit there for 20 minutes just to lead to some throwaway tag team match. Like, personally, I thought the segment was boring. Like, if you want a tag team match against FTR, it can be done different, better, more funny. This celebration, it could have been better. This is just 20 minutes of boring, cheap talk, you know. First match, Wardlow defeated the Blade or whatever. If you want to present Wardlow as a big explosive guy there, this match should last maybe 2 minutes tops or whatever. It lasts like 8, 9 minutes. The Blade is beating up Wardlow. This little insignificant jobber beating up Wardlow for 3, 4 minutes. Then there's a big fucking stretch of commercial. Every match is fucking 10 minutes of commercial. Like, how is this a good show? It's not. Like, it's not a good show. Fuck. Um, Eventually, they come back from commercial. Wardlow does his power bombs, and it's finished. The match should last 2 minutes tops. You know what I mean? If you want to make him look strong and powerful, it shouldn't last 9 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever it took. Um, Then you had Inner Circle, because Santana and Ortiz, they disrespected Jericho. So Jericho wanted the team meeting or whatever. So Santana and Ortiz, they come out. They don't come out with the group. They have attitude or whatever. And it's a long promo with these two fucking jobbers, like, disrespecting Jericho. Like, who wants to see this? Like, the guy from, I don't even know which one is called what. Who's Santana and who's Ortiz? Like, the guys in the camera talking about Jericho. Pfft, this guy, come on, man. This guy, like, who's gonna sit there and side with Ortiz or whatever? The fans, they're, yeah, man, Ortiz, you stand your ground, bro. And it's, Ortiz, you held us down or whatever. And it looked like they were gonna quit the group, but instead, Sammy Guevara quit again for a second time because it's bad booking. He quit for a second time. I know I've already quit, guys, but I'm gonna quit again unless you can get your shit together. And then he left or whatever. So he quit for a second time, but he didn't really quit. Like, you could just have Santana and Ortiz leave the group since they're boring and it's obvious. They just grabbed a random tag team and stuck them with Jericho or whatever, you know. And then they're supposed to have a tag match, Swagger and Jericho against Santana and Ortiz next week. And who the fuck knows what happens if they win? Like, there's no real explanation. If we have something to settle, we settle it in the ring. So they have a match and they stay together. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was a long, drawn out fucking thing with bad acting. This, whoever, which one he is, they're like, Jericho, I brought in the wrong two members of LAX, and then this jobber grabs Jericho by the throat. All right, guys, break it up. This fucking nobody grabbing Jericho by the throat or whatever. Like, to me, this fucking sucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these two jobbers shouldn't even be in the group. First of all, I give no fucks about these two boring guys or whatever. These guys are boring. Midgets or whatever. They called them LAX. Basically, they're like LAX 2.0. LAX was a bit of a thing in TNA. And these two guys were given the gimmick of somebody else. They were given somebody else's name or whatever. These two guys, who the fuck are they? Like, why would I side with them over Jericho or whatever? Like, I don't know. This whole segment was cheap. Just break this shit up. Not only that, break up like all of these stables because none of them are good. Like, there's like 40 stables on this show. It sucks. It's boring. It's played out. You know, with all these stables, like, basically they're killing stables and wrestling. You know what I mean? They took the concept of stables and watered it down incredibly, beating a dead horse. Like, there's 40 NWOs and it's all the same thing. Just random guys stuck together with tag teams. Nobody really fucking blends together in these groups. It's just random bums stuck together. Like, Jericho doesn't need all these fucking losers with him or whatever. Jack Swagger, what the fuck does this guy do? Like, he wrestled twice, 2, 3 times in fucking 2, 3 years or whatever. A couple of group matches, that goofy octagon match or whatever. Like, he wrestled maybe 10 times in 3 years. Get rid of these fucking people. Like, but just another long fucking segment about stables, and it was boring. And then you have another stable segment, Roppongi Vice backstage. Big match, folks. Roppongi Vice coming soon. There they get attacked by Young Bucks and Adam Cole or whatever. And then the forbidden door was open, folks. Jay White, an indie wrestler, Jay White, but he won the New Japan World title, I think, or whatever. He's a big star, folks. It's the Switchblade. Jay White, oh my God! Like, indie fans might be excited because the guy wrestles in New Japan, but like, if you're a regular person who don't care about Meltzer, if you don't pretend to mark out for New Japan like it's a big deal, oh, it's Hojo Mokoko, oh Lord, is it him? In reality, nobody cares about these Japanese wrestlers or wrestlers that wrestle in Japan. Nobody gives a fuck for real. Like, indie fans, they talk about New Japan. Not anymore, not as much since AEW has become a thing. But like, mentioning that you like New Japan, they think indie fans that this impresses people, but it don't. You know what I mean? In reality, nobody cares. Like, if you want to write your top 10 wrestlers and you put Jay White at number 9 and Japanese wrestlers and Kenny Omega and Okada at number 1 and 2 there, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's impressed with this. Like, y'all are pathetic. Y'all are fucking virgins. Like, get a fucking life once and for all. But back to the show there. Nobody cares about Jay White. All right. The forbidden door, and it's just this goofy guy there. Like, Switchblade. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, the guy looks like a guy from a trailer park, his face or something, who's a little bit in shape. No presence. Nobody knows him. 90% of wrestling fans don't know him. You know what I mean? So nobody's impressed. Nobody's impressed. Maybe if you had Okada or whatever, because we heard the name, we seen his face, maybe people would pretend to be impressed a little for Okada. You wouldn't get any additional viewers for him there, but you ain't gonna get any viewers for Jay White because nobody cares. Like, the people who are impressed are already watching, and like half the viewers of your show who are random wrestling fans, half of them truly don't care about Jay White. Like, you would have to introduce this guy, have him be a part of the roster for people to know, and just bringing in some douchey Japanese Gaijin or whatever they call them. They're the American Japanese wrestlers. He's a Gaijin or whatever it is. Nobody's impressed with this fucking garbage for real. Like, second match. Speaking of not impressed, folks, Keith Lee made his big debut. Keith Lee, folks. He finally made his debut, man. Oh, I thought, Keith Lee is more impressive physically than everybody in AEW. It's true, but he's very bland. If Keith Lee, if it would have worked out and he would have became a star in WWE, maybe he would have been impressive to be on TV, but Keith Lee didn't really become a star, you know what I mean? He was on NXT, they had terrible viewership. Nobody cared to the point that they had to rebrand the whole thing or whatever. And now he's there, you know. And Keith Lee's about 400 pounds, right? He's going up in the match against Isaiah Cassidy. This guy is lucky if he weighs 100 pounds, Isaiah Cassidy. Okay, this match should last 10 seconds. It lasts about 10 plus minutes as well. And you have Isaiah Cassidy getting some offense on Keith Lee. Keith Lee did some impressive stuff, but it's easy when he's throwing around 100-pounder. You know what I mean? You can't fucking catch people in the air and toss them around when they're 200-300 pounds, but you don't have that many guys that size in AEW, so I guess they could make him go against 200 midgets and he's going to look massive every time. But this match should have been, again, 2-3 minutes. Let him hit big moves on this scrawny midget and finish it fast, right? But no, the match lasts 10 plus minutes. The 90-pound guy getting a lot of offense in on Keith Lee commercial. 2 minutes should have been finished. Third match, CM Punk found a partner, folks, to go up in the big high-profile tag team match. It was Punk against Moxley. Punk and Moxley, I mean, as a tag team or whatever. So 2 world champs come together there. Moxley. And they go up against FTR. You would think this match would last 4 or 5 minutes tops or whatever. CM Punk and Moxley or whatever going up against FTR. But FTR, they said on the show, boy, they're one of the best tag teams, if not the best. They're FTR, you know what I mean? And they want to wrestle. So do you get 2 world champion guys beating up these short, fat, basic, overhyped guys? The gimmick is that they're tag team specialists, and these marks believe that, yeah, they're the best tag team. They're tag team specialists. They're 2 boring, fat guys. They don't talk. They're plain. They're short. They're fat. What's the big deal with FDR? There's none. A very basic team, you know what I mean? Boring in reality there. Okay, they're not good and better than anybody else. They're just 2 short, boring guys, for real. And very overhyped. Cody Rhodes or something, he said, fuck the revival on the internet. And for some reason, indie fans started writing this. And apparently FTR thought they were famous because of that. They were on WWE programming, right? Which is viewed around the world. You could have been more famous like that. Not only is it viewed in the States, but all over the world. right? But because they had a few indie fans saying, fuck the revival, we want revival against Young Bucks. Apparently, they should leave the best job that they had there and go to this smaller garbage circus there. You know what I mean? But in reality, they're not stars. They're not stars. They're not must-see television. Nobody gives a fuck about their tag team wrestling. Nobody thinks like normal thinking wrestling fans. Indie fans, they're on a different planet. You know what I mean? Like, they're psycho for real, but like, nobody sits there. Wrestling fans, oh my god, I just love this tag team wrestling. They're such good tag team performers. Oh, look, they're cutting the ring in half, boy. Just like the days of the territories. Nobody thinks like this, you know what I mean? Apart from really retarded indie fans, nobody talks like that except for them, you know? So in reality, Punk and Moxley against the revival, it's not a big deal. It's not. Right? But because the revival are presented like they're a big deal, instead of Punk and Moxley squashing these fucking boring mid-carders like that, they have a big 25 minute competitive tag team match, right? Because the Revival are such a great team and it's a tag team match, which is their specialty. Then Punk and Moxley, it takes 20 plus minutes to beat these boring guys. And what do you end up with? Boring television, right? It don't matter if it's a washed up Moxley or whatever, or a washed up CM Punk there going up against them. It don't matter. It's boring. FTR doing rest holds for 20 plus minutes was fucking boring, and I started skipping this shit there. Fast forward, motherfucker, because it was boring, you know? Like, even Moxley, oh, Mox, like, this is skippable there, Moxley. You know what I mean? I don't sit there, Moxley, I'm looking forward to the match of Moxley. Like, I'm not a psycho like that. And nowadays, even CM Punk is becoming skippable. You know what I mean? After 10 plus minutes, it is boring or shit. I started skipping. Let's go. Let's get to the world title. Fuck, you know what I mean? Let's get this shit over with, is how I started feeling. And then you had Jade Cargill, folks. The TBS champ going up against an unknown jobber. She's from the school of Booker T or whatever, a jobber. A short match or whatever. Boring. You know, this should have been on Dark there. Fifth match, Serena Deeb. Boring as fuck on her own there. Not appealing in any way there. Going up against the jobber as well, and it lasts 10 seconds, the match. So two matches, two women's matches back to back, and both of them, it's a woman against a jobber, like back to back, for real. This is cheap. Like, you could have had one good match between two regular women on the roster. Why so many throwaway matches against jobbers back to back? Like, you know, at least put them apart. Have one match. It's the second match. Then Serena Deeb in the fifth match. Why would you put two random female squash matches back to back? It looks identical and it sucks. You know what I mean? And then, folks, in the main event, it was Adam Page against Archer, Lance Archer, whatever, for the AEW title. And this match, on paper, it's boring. Okay, it's very boring. The cheap non-main eventer champion, the fake cowboy there, Adam Page or whatever, going up against the big boring weirdo Lance Archer. He's got like two managers. The guy's so fucking boring. One manager isn't enough. He needs two, for fuck's sakes. Jake and Dan Lambert. Like, another guy that was in New Japan, because he's in New Japan, Lance Archer. Oh, he's gonna murder everyone. He needs two manager because he's so fucking boring. Like, and his matches are fucking cheap. Like, okay, just because somebody comes from New Japan don't mean that they're good. They're okay, because this match sucked. It was hardcore. They made it hardcore because this match is nothing. And it's cheap and worthless, and it's not a real world title match. Okay, this is garbage there. So they make it hardcore to try to make it look bigger than what it is. That's obvious because the match is fuck all on its own. You have to make it hardcore. Oh, let's blade ourselves. Oh, this is a good match now. It sucks. Nobody views this as credible. Oh, this is officially great now. Ha ha. We got you right where we want you. There's blood. You can't say that this sucks now. You gotta pretend it's good. Ha! You know what I mean? Meltzer's gonna give it 5 stars, even though it's shit. You know what I mean? Get a fucking life, you know? Like, you can't always just do hardcore bullshit and people get down on their hands and knees and worship. Like, fuck off, it's getting old. This match was shit. Making it hardcore, I give a shit even less. Okay, because it's fake and it's see-through. You know, oh yeah, we got him, boys. We win because of blood every time. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, Lance Archer pulls out the fork like Abdullah the Butcher starts forking his opponent, then he puts the fork full of blood in his mouth. Like, this might impress the gothic, putting the blood in his mouth or whatever there, but like, it's a bit much. Like, you know what I mean? It's okay to do hardcore stuff, but it's obvious that they're using the hardcore shit as a crutch all the fucking time, and it's pathetic. Like, they had fuck all in this match. This match was cheap. And doing this goofy shit with the over the top blood, and it just makes it look like low budget outlaw wrestling or whatever. Lance Archer, when he picks him up like this, the big flip thing, he sets up the steps, and it was hollow steps or whatever. He gives him the flip bomb, move, slam, whatever the fuck it's called. He lands on the steps, bounces off the steps, and he lands like head first in the post kind of deal. Bang, like this, like a fucking car crash, you know? And then he doesn't even sell it. Fucking Lance Archer picks him up, throws him in the ring. He gets up right away after that. Fuck, he looks like he should be dead after this. Flipped like that, off the ring apron onto the steps. He bounces off the steps, crashes in the fucking ring post by accident. I don't think he was supposed to bounce like that. Or maybe he was, I don't know. But They don't even sell a big crash like this. He gets up right away and starts doing goofy forearm shit. Like Lance Archer looks like he killed this little boring midget or whatever. And that Adam Page didn't even sell. That was sad to see. Starts twirling around like a ballerina, Page, and giving him these goofy forearm, like, and then the top rope was removed. So we couldn't do the flipping clothesline, okay? So he's on the ring apron without the top rope. The referee bends over. Page hops into the ring. He goes on the fucking bent over ref like it's the ropes. He does the goofy flip off of the bent over ref. Gives a clothesline. They go all the way to the outside through table. Adam Page sneaks in before the count of 10, and I think he won by count out or whatever. Like, I think it was a count out victory or whatever. Like, the ending just looked incredibly goofy to me. Like, the referee bends over to tie his shoe or whatever the fuck there, and he fucking flips over the ref, and this big goofy, obviously orchestrated thing there. It's too obvious that it's fake when you do a thing like this, flipping off the ref, and this was like a fucking circus performance, the ending. Like, you have big blood, and fucking, and then it ends like it's for a match for the 24/7 championship, like Reggie in WWE doing a comedic finish of some sort. A big flip off the referee, so fucking fake looking and stupid. And the match ends by count out or whatever. Like, hopefully there's not a fucking rematch. You didn't pin me. I want a rematch. And then Jake, give him a rematch, brother. Give him a rematch. Hopefully not. Hopefully this is the last time that we get Lance Archer fighting for the world title, unless it's a big multi-man match or whatever. Like, the indie fans, they believe that Archer was a threat at the beginning there. But you've destroyed him, you fucking murdered him there to the point that nobody gives a fuck at all. Like, you know. And when you have him fighting for the belt, it sends a message that Archer is losing because it's very predictable, right? When it's super predictable that the champ retains, then it don't feel special. You know what I mean? It don't. And it's obvious that it's throwaway trash. It don't feel like a world title. It's throwaway trash. And you've killed Archer beyond repair there. So please, no more Lance Archer in the main event. And then Adam Cole came out there. So there's going to be a match, I guess, Adam Cole and Adam Page. Like I said before, they're both called Adam. That's gonna be the feud. I'm the cooler of the two Adams. No, I am. Oh, big match on Rampage, folks. It's fucking cheap for real. Like, overall, like, you had nothing that was good. The MJF thing should have been better than this. It wasn't. It wasn't funny. It wasn't fucking good. Like, nobody wants to see Punk in a fucking scientific tag team match. This is boring. Wardlow and the Blade is garbage. Inner Circle, the thing just felt cheap. And to me, it felt insulting. I'm like, who the fuck? I'm like, yeah, this is bad. Like, Roppongi Vice, Jay White is a big letdown. Like the Forbidden Door, and it's Jay White. Who fucking cares? The only good thing is Keith Lee a little. Right? Maybe he'll help you draw the same 400,000 that he drew for NXT, you know what I mean? But nothing here was good. Punk and Moxley, like I said, 20 minutes of boredom. 2 jobber women matches, woman against jobber back to back. And then you had this shit TNA fucking hardcore match main event there. This felt like a shitty Abyss match when Abyss was at his end, and it was played out. The Abyss hardcore matches. This is what it feels like. Just shitty TNA hardcore wrestling. You know what I mean? So there you go. And the fans were chanting GCW during this hardcore match. So you do these hardcore wrestling matches for these fans, and they're cheering for a different company. Like, you know what I mean? What's the point? What's the point of cheering, of doing all this for indie fans? Seriously, like they've been doing lights out matches since they started, right? But now they're doing hardcore, and indie fans. No, JCW is the hardcore. Yeah, GCW. So what's the point of doing a hardcore match for them if they're gonna fucking cheer for a different group? They're so pathetic, the indie fan. It's unbelievable. So there you go, folks. There, I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm still in business. There, I'm gonna go check out some of that wrestling news. The consistent uploads are gonna be back soon. There's just weird political shit going on there, so I'm just keeping my eye on that or whatever. But I'm getting bored with the stuff there, so it's time for me to come back home there to the world of wrestling for almost daily uploads, folks. So yeah, back in business, not going anywhere, folks. Until next time, peace.